Probably the team activities and getting coaching from the coaches.
My favorite parts were definitely meeting new people, getting a lot better at Magic, and getting to come to California for, I think, my second time. I haven't been here that much. I definitely really liked meeting all the people and making so many new friends. That was a great part of the experience. I definitely had a lot to improve on in my gameplay that I didn't even know I could improve upon. And so I feel a lot more confident in my gameplay and being more competitive now. And I really liked coming to California. The weather is so nice and it was great.
I'd say my favorite parts of camp would have to be some like the limited. I had a 9-3 record overall, which was 75%, pretty good. And I'd say like getting to just like have Sam Black just like on my right, just like helping me through decisions. And by the end, I feel like I was able to kind of draft like and actually have like debates with him on whether or not I was supposed to take this card. And some of the time I think I was right, which was really cool.
My favorite part of Magic Camp was getting to bond with a bunch of people. I mean, I knew most of these people going into Magic Camp, but I got to create even stronger bonds that will hopefully last for a long time.
I really enjoyed the cube that we did. The arena cube was so much fun. I drafted 4 fetch lands and a Scythe Cat Cub, and I got to swing for a lot of damage.
Yeah, so like, I really enjoyed being able to constantly play basically whenever I wanted high quality Magic with a Lord. Like, if I got tired with a deck or something, maybe not quite as much in Limited, but especially in Constructed, if I just wasn't enjoying playing a deck, I could swap to something else. Like, I came in here kind of expecting to like to be a mid-range. I didn't really have a lot of fun with to be a mid-range. So I kind of swapped over to like playing like some Naya Yuna and some mono green landfall, which I enjoyed a lot more. And I feel like that is much less doable when you're like on your own, or like it's like you and your dad compared to in the whole Magic camp there. And then I also really like the ability to, like in a draft, just have someone who's always on call to answer a question, because like you can lean on them different amounts, and in different drafts I like use the resources there more or less, but it always feels really helpful. It's like there are some times where I just have no clue what to pick, and having someone who's at least much more likely to make the right decision there, I found very beneficial.
My favorite parts were probably the campers. It's just being in such a tight-knit community with most people that I've never met, and having such good camaraderie, the laughs, the friends that I've made, and plus learning a lot of new formats, but I think the people were my favorite part.
The most surprising thing about the camp was how good the other players were. Thought they would be like mid.
Definitely how much that I could improve. Like, there's parts that you just don't know until someone like explains it to you. And I didn't even know that I could think about some of the things I can now.
The most surprising part, I'd say that would have to be me surprising myself by how much I improved at Limited, probably for me. Either that or the whole contested Warzone thing was pretty surprising. I don't think I expected that to happen, but yeah.
I would say the most surprising part of camp was the group dynamic. Like, usually when you're in a group of people like that, there can be a lot of times when like a couple people don't get along, but everybody was just getting along so well. And I think it was also pretty surprising about how much everybody learned throughout just those 4.5 days.
Most surprising part is, I think, how little Modern we were playing and how much Limited we did. We did only like 1 or 2 portions of our day between the whole time for Modern, which I really appreciate because I have so much practice on Modern, I don't need any more practice. And I'm really weak in Standard and Limited, and we spent a lot of time doing that, so I appreciated that.
Yeah, so I feel like I expected it to be a bit like less intensive, to be honest. Not in like a bad way, but in like it was like very often like 14-hour days of Magic, which is a ton of fun, but also really could wear you out. And you know, I'm right now like in the middle of like give or take a 20-hour day of Magic.
Oh, most surprising was probably how much fun I had. I was expecting it to be more competitive and more high stakes, but it was casual in a way that I didn't feel bad for making mistakes, but I also wanted to win.
When we had the silliest moment of camp was when we had the deck spiking contest, where we would stack random cards in people's decks and see who could stack the most.
When me and Dana were in a really, I don't know if it was like a really intense match, but me and her were both thinking a lot, thinking through our plays like we had learned, and definitely practicing a lot of the techniques that we had learned throughout the camp. So it was a great game, and we were with both of the coaches, Nicole and Paul, were there, and Nicole started telling us the story about her and one of the other coaches, Paul, first met. And it was with a glimmer token that had been placed on her deck, and I was really enthralled in the story. Like, I just thought it was a funny story, and I was very engaged. And I go to draw my card, and it's a robot token. And I was, again, very intensely thinking. It took me a few seconds, and then I just started laughing really hard, and it was really, really funny. And then it's been a bit that has gone on through the rest of the days of camp. Like, I guess I'm really unobservant, because at some point, I think yesterday, someone put 11 robot tokens on the top of my deck and I didn't notice.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then
know.
also contested Warzone.
A contested Warzone, we started another thing with that, where if you put it on the top of someone's deck, you get a point, and they draw it, you get a point. I think I've been the person that's been scored on the most. Like, I'm genuinely so unobservant. But it's really funny, and I start laughing every time I draw one.
The most funny moment would have to be when me and Robbie stacked 11 robots on top of Nora's deck, and she drew them one at a time and didn't see an end. It was really, really funny. By far the best moment at camp.
The silliest moment of Magic Camp was when Nora was having a really difficult mulligan decision, and as Robbie and Charlie were leaning over to help her, they kept stacking robot tokens on the top of her deck. And so it would have been really funny if she had kept that hand. Unfortunately, she mulliganed, but then she just started flipping the top cards of her deck, and there was like 11 robot tokens in a row, and it was so funny.
Silliest moment. It was. I know everyone else is gonna say this too, but the contested Warzone, that was pretty funny. Just drawing a card and it's the worst land ever printed ever. That was pretty good.
So this is card. It's a really, really bad card. You have to understand, this card is terrible. It's called Contested Warzone. I don't know what they were doing with it. It's a really bad card. It's like a colorless land. I can probably tell you the whole text box. Colorless land. When a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller gains control of this land. It can tap for colorless and has 1 and tap to give attacking creatures +1/+0. And this card's terrible. And it's in the stellar sites of Edge of Eternities, which is like all these different lands. And it's fun. And some of the lands are really cool and can do weird stuff. Like, they have like the Zendikar creature lands, and those can go into decks and can do interesting stuff. It has Ancient Tomb. Some decks are gonna really like Ancient Tomb. Some decks might like Ancient Tomb, but might die because of it. It's all very interesting. But this card kinda sucks. I don't think it's gonna really see play limited. But because of that, when a copy got like drafted, it became someone put I think Nathan put both a copy of that and a copy of the blue Mythic Planet on top of Nicole's deck. And Nicole didn't realize it and then drew it, and yeah, it was very funny. And then a bit later, like, he did it again with like with a card that's in her deck, but a foil version, which is not in her deck, of like a red removal spell, and then that card again. And then we all kind of started doing it to each other, until eventually it became a game where like you would get a point every time you do it, and people tried to keep track of who had the card at any given time, and it was complete and utter chaos, and it was awesome. I loved it.
Okay, I don't know if anyone's talked about the land. I forgot what it's called, but we kind of had a game where if we took the land, we put it on the top of someone's deck, and they drew it without knowing. Then they got a point, and the whole room would just explode into laughter, and it was incredible.
How to choose different ways of playing and think about how to win in different situations.
Okay, so I think I've started thinking more through my plays like naturally. Like I went to, what was it? The one we went to in Vegas, what was it called?
MagicCon?
Yeah, we went to MagicCon. And I noticed that when I started thinking a lot through my plays, since my mechanical skill wasn't that good because I hadn't played enough, I would really think through a lot of my plays, and that was how I would win, just to make up for like my lack of time in the game. So I started kind of naturally doing that, but it's definitely improved since I came to camp. Like I think a lot more through my plays, and I definitely thought through, like I would draw and I'd be like, okay, how does this change my game plan? But I wouldn't really think through my attacks, which is like a big part of the game, and especially since I play a lot of aggro attacky decks, like I want to be able to think through how my blockers are, or how my opponent's gonna respond to my attacks through their blocks, and I just wouldn't do that. And I noticed that I would often lose games where my opponent was at 4 life because they like stabilized before I could get like in the last few points of damage. So I noticed I was like probably missing a few attacks somewhere. And so I got a lot of help with that, and I've been winning a lot more, and I think that's really improved my gameplay.
I'd say it would have to be what Nathan said about it's about 2 things. One of the things that stood out to me the most was Nathan talking about how important it is to like visualize how the game plays out. That's really important, and I learned a lot about that over the course of camp. And secondly, what Sam Black said about limited, and how you want to take good cards until like they're just no good cards, and how good cards are always better than like bad cards that are like in your colors or in your archetype.
The thing that stood out to me the most about what I learned at Magic Camp was to always have a reason for what you did. It doesn't matter if maybe the play you made wasn't the correct play, but making sure you always have a reason to make a play. Like when you're playing a game of Magic, whenever you make any play, ask yourself, why am I doing this play? And if you have no good reason, either find a reason or make a different play that you do have a reason for.
I think I learned that I need to do more thinking. I know that in Modern, I do the same thing every single game, all the time, and there's just like plans that I have against every deck, and I'm just follow this plan, play my cards 1 card at a time, and I don't have to think very much. And then in Limited and Standard, I have to think a lot more because I'm unfamiliar with the formats and what the cards do.
Yeah, so like, to be honest, it's funny because so much of it is so intuitive. It's like, don't draft bad cards early in a pack. You should take good cards even if you think you might not play them, because the risk reward is not there to take bad cards. Or you should have a reason to do the stuff you're doing. That's a fun one. Like if you say you should have a reason doing the stuff you're doing, that feels like, well, yeah, of course. But I want you to play a game of Magic and be like, and when you make a decision, be like, is there a reason I'm doing this decision? Because I think the answer is probably no. I think it's likely gonna be, sometimes it's gonna be like, it's in curve. But sometimes it's gonna be, well, you know, why am I playing a swamp turn 1 instead of a mountain? Because I want to play a land turn 1, and this is the land that I grabbed. Like, that's not a good reason. But that's most of the reasons I play lands turn 1. And so like that's like a lot of very simple intuitive things, but that we just like kind of subconsciously don't really do. And learning those and like honing in on those, I found was a really like surprising and interesting part of camp. Like I wouldn't have expected that to be the core of it, but I thought I learned a lot from that.
Biggest things I've learned, probably to take my time. I wasn't the best at thinking ahead. I kind of just played the cards that I thought were good, but being mana efficient while also recognizing when I'm in danger, when I need to play defensive or be on the more aggressive side, that was one big thing that I will definitely take away from this.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. It was super fun. Again, loved meeting everybody, and I think I've improved so much at the game.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to do Magic Camp again.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think, I learned a lot. It was a ton of fun.
Absolutely. If I got another opportunity for this, it's so much fun. I have no regrets about doing this.
No.
I don't think I would really change anything. I think I had a great time. I think I learned a lot about a bunch of different formats. I'm a lot better at draft now because we did so much draft. I'm a lot better at standard. I really loved how we had a lot of the decks like here, either proxied or full decks that you could just pick up and play, and a lot of boxes of different sets that we could draft of. I don't know, I think it was great. I had a really fun time.
I don't think so, honestly. It was pretty amazing. Like, you had like constructed, I'd say maybe a bit more standard, my favorite format. I prefer to play a bit more of that, but and then after the whole thing was over, just like the team drafts or whatever in the evening were really fun.
There's not really anything that I think I would change about the camp. It all worked really well. We had a pretty good schedule about doing educational stuff and like really practicing a certain skill set, but also doing like for fun drafts. And I mean, we've played a lot of Magic. I guess I would want to play more Magic and for Magic Camp to be longer.
Well, it was unfortunately only like a week long. That was not good. I would rather spend more time. I'd rather have more time and then go to an RCQ at the very end. This
is obviously not like, an easy like flip the switch sort of thing. It would be cool if it was like, just a bit bigger overall.
I think that it was pretty much perfect. The way that the Fishers planned this was very smart with how the structure of the kind of like tournaments were, and doing something different for parts of the day and working on different formats and taking breaks. I really liked the pacing.
To day two my next RC.
I'm definitely gonna start going to RCQs. I've gone to one RCQ before. It was in standard. I placed 9th. I didn't even really know what it was. I didn't know how I guess intense kind of RCQs are, but I think, and it kind of sucks. When I first went to them, like if I think about my gameplay now and then before I didn't even think through my plays. I wasn't thinking about attacks. I wasn't thinking about how my game plan was changing, how to defeat my opponent in the best way based off of the cards I have in hand, and how our matchups worked out. So I think now that I'm taking all of that into consideration in my gameplay, I'm definitely gonna start going to a lot more RCQs and hopefully qualifying for some and see how far that takes me. I'm definitely gonna try to practice more through the course of, the months and the weeks. And yeah, I hope I improve more.
Qualify for the PT probably is my main one.
My biggest goal for the future is to qualify for the Pro Tour. I've gotten pretty close at having top finishes at regional championships, so I would really like to just make that next step of qualifying for the Pro Tour.
Just make it to the Pro Tour. Yeah, that's it.
So I'm I'm not actually queued for any RCs right now. I've queued for a lot, but I'm not actually. It's short term, I want to queue for some RCs.
Next goals, I am kind of interested in standard. I like that it's not as complicated as modern, and I think if I practice more and kind of learn the good decks, that I could probably maybe do a tournament and start working on more competitive Magic.
Well, that's a wrap on Magic Camp Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me and showing you throughout this journey of Magic Camp. Unfortunately, this is the last of the videos. I want to take this time to really thank all the campers and coaches for really making this experience truly magical and making it successful. It's something I wanted to be successful, and it's so fulfilling to see it work. If you liked this video, and if you liked the other videos in this series of Magic Camp, if you haven't seen the other videos in Magic Camp, you should go check them out. They're great. It would mean a lot to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like this video. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.